Hi, this is Phil from Make Tech Easier and welcome to our short guide to photographic lenses. Okay, we know it's easy when you're taking photos. You use the lens you have and frame the picture by zooming in and out. It's simple. It is actually very simple, and for most people that's all you need to know. However, the first step to getting more creative in any area of art or craft is to start learning how things work. Lens choice is more than just about framing a picture. Choosing a different lens for photos is a creative choice, not just a practical one. In this guide we'll be looking at the different kinds of lenses and what they mean for your photography. Mostly this boils down to two things: focal length and aperture. Focal length, wide or telephoto. There are two types of lens for your camera. There are variable focal length or zoom lenses, and there are fixed focal length or prime lenses. Zoom lenses allow you to zoom in and out to help you frame a picture. They do this by altering the focal length of the lens. A small number is a wide angle of view and a big number is a telephoto or narrow angle of view. This is what W and T means on a zoom switch, by the way, wide or telephoto. Prime lenses are fixed focal length, so they adjust either wide angle or telephoto, and in order to frame the shot you have to physically move yourself either closer or further away. Primes are much better quality than zooms, but let's put them aside for now, as what we are saying about zoom lenses applies just as well to primes, and prime lenses are more of a pro item. Whether you can change your lenses or have one zoom lens fixed to the front of your camera, you have a choice about the length of lens that you are using. These are creative choices, and in this video we'll be looking at those choices. Now then, let's look at wide angle lenses, or zoom lenses in a wide angle mode. The first thing you notice about a picture from a wide angle lens is the obvious thing: it's wide. The angle of view takes in everything in front of you, and so much so that everything becomes distorted around the edges. The straight lines in the image become bent as the lens takes in light from all sides and focuses it into the image. Something else you might notice about wide angle lenses is that everything is in focus. This is true of all wide angle lenses. They are literally a catch-all, take in all the light and focus what's available from the scene and put it in the picture. If you want to show everything, then a wide angle lens is for you. The downside of wide angle lenses is the same as their strength: you see everything. Why is this a problem? Well, the art of photography is mostly about isolating a subject, having something to say about an object and showing that viewpoint in a picture. You ever notice how good photos capture a subject really clearly? So, if everything is in a wide angle picture, you have to work quite hard framing a shot to get a subject isolated from the background. Composing a shot when everything is in focus is difficult, as the viewer's eye doesn't know what to look at. Plus, with a wide angle, when you do isolate a subject by getting closer, everything around it is distorted. Whatever is closer to the camera looks huge, and all the faraway stuff looks tiny by comparison. There is also what seems to be a much larger gap between near objects and far objects. Compare this with a telephoto picture. The angle of view is much narrower, and background and foreground seem to be really close, and the depth of focus is really shallow. On the point of focus it's sharp, but things in front of the subject and behind it are out of focus. This isolates the subject beautifully, and fuzzy lights and objects look kinda cool too. Telephoto mode enables you to isolate your subject very well. Either you can frame a single detail, or you can isolate the detail with focus. Apertures. Another thing about lenses which is important is aperture. When a camera exposes a photo, it adjusts the shutter speed, the amount of time the sensor is exposed, and the aperture, the size of the hole through which the light is passing. Using these two variables, a camera can expose a photo automatically without you having to know or adjust those things. But learning how apertures work is another terrific creative choice. Small apertures, bigger numbers, let a lot less light into the lens, but they also greatly expand the depth of focus. Large apertures, smaller numbers, let much more light into the lens, but they also reduce the depth of focus. A lens with a really super wide aperture, like 1.4 or 1.8, is known as a fast lens. This is a super shallow focus lens, and it is what you need for really good bokeh, or those fuzzy out of focus balls of light you see in some photos. Similarly, if you need everything in a shot to be in focus, like a photo of a scale model which you don't want to look small, then you should use a bigger number like f22 or greater. Conclusion. As you can see, playing around with the lens type and aperture has a lot of creative possibilities. Also, it can help you to choose new lenses based on their focal length or largest aperture. Learning how things work is how you develop an advantage over other photographers and become more creative and good at what you do. Okay, that's all for now. This is just scratching the surface with what there is to know about lenses. Let us know in the comments below if you'd like to see more of this kind of tutorial in future episodes. Okay, as always, thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe and drop us a comment below. That's all for now. See you next time.